Think 1950s cars were all chrome and tailfins? Think again. These sleeper cars looked like grocery getters but packed enough power to smoke a Corvette. From supercharged sedans to tire-frying wagons, we're counting down the top 10 sleeper cars of the 1950s. Let's get started. Number 1. 1958 Packard Hawk. The 1958 Packard Hawk is the automotive equivalent of a B-movie cult classic. Quirky, misunderstood, and secretly brilliant. By 1958, Packard was a shadow of its former self. A once prestigious luxury brand reduced to slapping its badge on a Studebaker Golden Hawk. The result? A car that looked like it was designed by a committee that couldn't agree on anything. The front grille, with its gaping, catfish-like mouth, was polarizing to say the least. And then there was the interior, which featured a Swiss cheese speedometer. Yes, a speedometer with holes punched in it to reduce glare. It was as if Packard's designers were trolling everyone. But here's the twist. Under that bizarre exterior lurked a supercharged 289 cubic inch V8, force-fed by a Paxton blower. This engine, borrowed from the Studebaker Golden Hawk, cranked out 275 horsepower, enough to propel the Hawk to a top speed of 125 miles per hour. That made it faster than a fuel-injected 1958 Corvette, a car that was all about speed and style. The car's performance was no joke. It could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 7.5 seconds. A feat that embarrassed many muscle cars of the era. But Packard dealers hated it. One salesman reportedly said, "It's like selling a racehorse disguised as a mule." The Hawk's odd styling and Packard's fading reputation made it a tough sell. Only 588 units were produced, and most of them ended up forgotten in junkyards. The supercharger on the Packard Hawk was so powerful that it required a premium fuel-only warning on the dashboard. Ignore that, and you'd be looking at a melted piston. Number 2. 1954 Kaiser Manhattan. The 1954 Kaiser Manhattan Supercharged is the ultimate underdog story of the 1950s. Kaiser Motors, a company better known for building military jeeps during World War II, was struggling to make a mark in the post-war consumer market. Their solution? A supercharged 226 cubic inch inline-six engine that punched way above its weight. With 140 horsepower, it could outrun many V8-powered cars of the era, including Ford's flathead V8s. The supercharger, made by McCulloch, gave the Manhattan a distinctive whine, like a turbocharged sewing machine, that announced its presence long before it left competitors in the dust. But Kaiser didn't stop there. To handle the extra power, they developed a dual-range Hydra-matic transmission, a rarity in 1954. This made the Manhattan not just fast, but smooth and reliable too. The car's boxy, chrome-trimmed design screamed family sedan, but the supercharger's performance whispered sleeper. Sadly, Kaiser's financial troubles meant only 1,171 of these gems were built. Today, they're rare collector's items, cherished for their quirky charm and surprising performance. The supercharger was so effective that Kaiser offered a 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty, unheard of at the time. Number 3, 1957 DeSoto Adventurer. The 1957 DeSoto Adventurer was Chrysler's secret weapon. While the flashy Chrysler 300 hogged the spotlight, DeSoto quietly dropped a bombshell. A 345 cubic inch firepower Hemi 5.8 with dual 4-barrel carbs, cranking out 345 horsepower. That's 45 horsepower more than a 57 fuelie Corvette. But DeSoto played it cool, wrapping this beast in sleek, two-tone styling with gold anodized trim that whispered executive luxury rather than drag strip terror. The Adventurer wasn't just fast, it was a tech pioneer. It featured torsion air suspension, a system so advanced it's still used in trucks today. Legend has it, a stock Adventurer hit 140 miles per hour on the Bonneville Salt Flats, though Chrysler never officially confirmed it. Only 1,950 were made, and most were crushed by the 1970s oil crisis. The Adventurer's gold anodized trim was so distinctive that DeSoto called it Adventurer Gold, and it became a signature feature of the model. Number 4, 1955 Nash Ambassador V8. The 1955 Nash Ambassador V8 is the ultimate Trojan horse, a frumpy-looking family car hiding a beastly heart. Nash, known for its quirky bathtub designs and reclining seats that turned into beds, shocked the automotive world by dropping a Packard-sourced 320 cubic inch V8 under the hood. This was like Tesla suddenly using a Hellcat engine. Unexpected, but absolutely brilliant. The result? A 220 horsepower land yacht that could outrun a Chevy Bel Air while comfortably seating 6 people in its plush, airliner-style reclining seats. Nash didn't stop there. They equipped the Ambassador with a 3.54-to-1 rear axle ratio, making it a proto-grand tourer that could cruise effortlessly on the highway. It was the perfect blend of muscle and comfort, a car that could embarrass hot rods at the stoplight and then coddle your family on a cross-country road trip. Number 5, 1957. Studebaker Silver Hawk. The 1957 Studebaker Silver Hawk is the ultimate don't underestimate me car. While its flashier sibling, the Golden Hawk, flaunted chrome and luxury, the Silver Hawk kept it simple. It wore a plain Jane suit, looking like a sensible commuter car for mild-mannered drivers. But under the hood, the same supercharged 289 cubic inch V8 that powered the Golden Hawk, cranking out 275 horsepower. This unassuming coupe could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 8 seconds, faster than a Porsche 356 Speedster, and it did it all while costing $1,000 less than a Corvette. Studebaker was on the brink of collapse in the late 1950s, and the Silver Hawk was their last-ditch effort to stay relevant. To keep costs down, they cut corners. The supercharger had no intercooler, and the car came with a stern warning, premium fuel only. Ignore that, and you'd be looking at a melted piston. The Silverhawk's supercharged engine was so advanced for its time that it inspired later muscle cars, including the iconic Chevrolet Corvair Monza Spider,